Yeah, I mean, I'm happy, I'm excited, but also we're not here just to, get here. We have to be able to host games and compete for championships. So there's not going to be any consolation prize for anybody. We understand what we have to do.
Mike Vrabel, the second-seeded Patriots, what a year they had after 2 straight seasons of 4-13. They go 14-3. And this is where it all changes. Nothing you did in the regular season matters. It's 60 minutes. It's single elimination. You either advance or you lose, and everything you did is viewed as a failure. We've seen the Vikings do that twice over the past couple of years, 14 wins. 13 one year and 14 another year, because Kevin O'Connell's one of the few guys to have multiple 13-win seasons that early in his career. You go one and done, it makes it look even more glaring. That's the risk that the Patriots face on Sunday night when the Chargers come to town. If the Patriots lose that game, everything they did this year will be regarded as a failure because they set us all up to make us think they were good, and here comes a Chargers team that possibly could knock them off. And I think they do need to be concerned about that simply because, and look, I don't like the easy schedule talk because it's not like the Patriots put together their schedule like a college team does. They got the schedule that they got. But, yeah, here comes a Chargers team that maybe when it's working is much better than a normal 7 seed would be.
Except, Mike, on the schedule, you have to factor it in. And I don't think it's going to determine who wins this game. But the fact is, it is a historically easy schedule. It's one of the easiest schedules in the history of football since the merger. And so I know a lot of Patriots fans get annoyed by that because they think you are knocking down their accomplishments. And it's not a knock on their accomplishments because a lot of teams have easy schedules. And let's say in those 10 games that are really easy or 11 games that are really easy, they go 6-5. So, okay, you didn't take advantage of it. So we can't I'm not going to knock a team that had an easy schedule and was able to do what it was supposed to do with it. They did have an easy schedule. And they took it and they ran with it. They played 4 playoff games, and they were 4 playoff teams, and they were 2-2 against those playoff teams. So I think that's pretty much, they are a good team. Are they a dominant 14-win team? I don't think so. But what they learned to do this year, and they couldn't do in the previous years, they learned to win games they were supposed to win, instead of making excuses. Hey, if it hadn't been for the stupid penalties and all those turnovers, we would have won. Well, they didn't have a lot of stupid penalties in 2025. They didn't turn the ball over much in 2025. They won every game on the road. Not a lot of teams in Patriots history have done that. And most importantly, they developed a quarterback. And that was a question coming into the season. Is Drake May, is he the guy? I mean, you knew he was, top 5 pick, but he went from being a ascending prospect to MVP level quarterback. So even if they go one and done, and I know they don't want to think like that, but if they go one and done in the playoffs, what they did in 2025 was find a quarterback who's already a top 10 quarterback in football.
Based upon the way you phrased that, and on at least 2 occasions, you selected words that would cause me to say the ultimate question for the Patriots in 2025 would be, what you want, a cookie? Because they did what they're supposed to do.
Thank you.
Now,
That's
the
what
most
you're supposed
glaring
to do.
outcome for the Patriots, and there's connective tissue back to 2024. The Bengals missed the playoffs by a game. And the most confounding outcome of the entire season was Week 1, Bengals losing at home to the Patriots, who otherwise went 3-13 other than that game. The Patriots lost Week 1 at home to the team owned by the guy who just had a statue put out front, the Las Vegas Raiders. You change the outcome of that game, and I know all other things would not necessarily be equal. You change the outcome of that game or the game when they clearly outplayed the Steelers but just kept handing them the ball.
Yeah.
They're the 1 seed, and it changes everything because no matter what they do against the Chargers, at some point they're going to end up in Denver if they keep winning and if the Broncos don't get upset in the divisional round. If the Patriots win the next 2 because they're guaranteed another home game as the 2 seed, they win the next 2, Denver wins in the divisional round, they got to go back to the place where in the years of greatness of the New England Patriots, the dynasty years, all of them, 0-3 in Denver in the playoffs. 0-3. Bill Belichick, Tom Brady couldn't win in Denver when it was win or go home. So that's waiting for them, all because of that Raiders outcome if we treat everything else as equal. And as it relates to the Chargers, you know, they had a great year, but they lost to the Giants. They lost to the Commanders. They lost to the Colts back when the Colts were morphing from good to not good. They lost to the Jaguars badly, 35-6. Now, the Jaguars' performance since then makes that less glaring, but the Chargers are capable. And that's the thing. Like with the Chargers, they're one of those teams where you can tell in the first 5 minutes whether or not they're going to win. You can like they almost beat the Texans on that Saturday a couple of weeks ago, but it was pretty clear early on they ain't going to win. And it was stunning they had a chance to win. But I think the key to that game on Sunday night, how does it begin? Because if the Chargers are going to win that game, they're going to declare themselves early that this is one of those games where Justin Herbert's going to be throwing lasers all over the place and the defense is going to be clicking and Drake May is not going to be able to throw the ball and as effectively as he has all year long. So we're going to know early whether or not the confidence that the Patriots developed by playing the weaker schedule translates to facing an elite team with a great defense like the LA Chargers.
Yeah, Mike, spot on about the Chargers and recognizing how they're going to be based on how they look in the first quarter. You talk about that Texans game. They gave up two long touchdowns to both rookies. One of them was Higgins. I think the first one was Higgins. The second one was Jalen Noel. And then there you go. It's 14-zip. And then eventually they fight and claw back. I'm like, what are you doing? Like these guys are running free in the secondary at the beginning of the game. How do you have 2 lapses like that on back-to-back series? But with the Chargers and who they are right now, I think this is going to be a fascinating game. You know, it's going to be a tough act to follow after the last Sunday Night Football game we saw between the Steelers and Ravens. But I think it is going to be a classic because you have a couple of things going on where the Chargers lost their tackles but still managed to finish with 11 wins, but their offensive line is not great. I don't think anybody in the building would say we got a great offensive line. The numbers tell you their offensive line is not great. In the eye test tells you it's not. But on the flip side, the Patriots really have a hard time getting after the quarterback. They don't have an elite pass rusher. They don't have an elite pass rush. So how does Jim Harbaugh continue to hide the weakness on the team? And how do Harbaugh and Roman, and how does Mike Vrabel and his first-year defensive coordinator, interim defensive coordinator, Zach Kerr, how do they take advantage of what's a pretty suspect, substandard O-line? I think the other thing is, Mike, this is the second best, believe it or not, this is the second best defense the Patriots have played all year. I think the Bills, they played the Bills twice, and the Bills really shut them down in the second half of their second game. They haven't played a lot of defenses like this. The Chargers are good across the board, so it's going to be a good matchup.
Well, somebody's going to get their first postseason win since the 2018 season. The Chargers last won in the playoffs the week before they went to New England in the divisional round. The Patriots last won in the postseason 3 weeks after that game. And that was the game, and I talk about this from time to time, that was the game where they were interviewing Tom Brady on the field afterward, and he played the nobody believes in us card. And I remember thinking, Tom, everybody believes in you. You were favored to win this game. Everybody thinks you're going to go back to the Super Bowl and win it again. Where in the hell is this coming from? But it's just part of what players, coaches, anyone will do to try to get themselves in the right mindset. So Mike Vrabel better be telling the Patriots this week, nobody believes in us. Everybody's talking about our easy schedule. Did you see Holley was on NBCSN on Friday talking about how we had a historically easy schedule? Nobody believes in us in these tough games. So you may have contributed to the effort. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.